So hello everybody. 다시 dello. Today's topic is you are more than enough, or yourself is more than enough. So this topic I'm going to talk referring to the ultimate view of the Jonang tradition. So which means Buddha taught three training Dharma wells. So the first Dharma well emphasizing how you can cultivate great merits within the relative truth. Another way of saying, you try to be wholesome thoughts and wholesome actions through the yourself as relatively how appear, which means just ordinary people, everybody's point of view of ourselves. You know, you try to be basically yourself, cultivate better attitude and better behave. So if we try to simplify, we can say that. So Buddha's the first Dharma well, we can arrange this kind of approach. But the second Dharma well approach is main emphasis on ourself is essenceless. Another word, ourself is not truly really exist. It is only illusion. Not only ourself, but also all the phenomena, what we think also is not true. So this is emphasize, the great emphasis of second way of the Dharma. So this is the main view of the second training way of the Dharma.
Yeah.
So that means whoever emphasize Ranton Majamika, which means whoever emphasize selflessness, emptiness, this is the main emphasized path, or who believes the ultimate truth is empty itself, or another language, emptiness. So this is not Jonang view. So why is it not Jonang view? Because not view of the third training of Dharma. Only second training of Dharma emphasize. So this is not Genton because this is Ranton. Ranton means this is self-empty, not empty of other. Why? Because this is emphasizing no self, no phenomenon. So this approach is not bad at all. This approach is necessary. Why is it necessary? Because all the problems on the samsara is based on, stuck on self-view, stuck on all phenomena truly exist, that kind of view. Based on that, all the problem arise. So that means the root problem is that. So that's why saying that. So that means non-jonabas is not wrong. It is whoever taken this approach is not wrong. However, if you want non-contradiction, complete golden age dharma, if you prefer that, then is the Jonang view of Genton approach is absolutely necessary. Why? Because the Jonang view approach is not only emphasize non-self and non-phenomenal. When I say only means Jonaba can accept and agree all ordinaries' point of view of the self and the self of all phenomena is wrong. They accept that. But not only that, means this is not still the ultimate truth. Why this is not ultimate truth? Because if this is ultimate truth, then you have to agree the ultimate truth is nothingness. So you cannot accept the ultimate truth is nothingness. If you do, and then who is practicing Dharma, right? Who is reaching the ultimate truth? Because you cannot reach an ultimate truth because you not exist. The ultimate truth is not exist because both of them is nothingness. And then when you have this debate, then people say, oh, no. The emptiness is not nothingness. Okay, if emptiness is not nothingness, then what is nothingness? You know, what empty means in common language. So then you cannot use this common language of emptiness. You have to use something else, but you don't have something else. So you shouldn't use the emptiness. Especially you cannot use self-empty. So that's kind of problem. But don't worry, this problem is when we see the completion of the Golden Age Dharma, then you see this problem. But temporarily approach, no problem. Okay, so like that. So, and then the golden age Dharma, the Janton point of view, you can be much more relaxed. Why? Yes, you can understand all ordinary point of views of myself and or phenomenon is not really true as everybody see, not see as everybody feel. At the same time, you can understand there is true myself exist. There is true phenomenon exist. This call the ultimate truth. This you can call innumerable quality. So if this core Buddha nature, this core Tathagatangarba, other than that, if other people say Tathagatangarba is emptiness, then the Tathagatangarba, the Buddha nature, becomes equal of samsara. So there is no reason to be free from samsara. Why? Because they both ultimate truth, Buddha nature, and samsara both is self-empty. Means self-empty means essenceless. But in Jonaba point of view, the Buddha nature, true ourself, is same, and this is not self-empty. This is not essenceless. Therefore, we call the ultimate truth. Therefore, we call innumerable quality, totality of all quality, innumerable. So then cannot be same as samsaric phenomenon. Because samsara phenomenon, nothing's innumerable quality. So for instance, water cannot have innumerable quality. Nothing is innumerable, basically. So that it is why we can call golden age Dharma. Because complete of first Dharma well, second Dharma well, and third Dharma well. Then you may think, oh, then what others, they lost the third Dharma well? Not completely lost, but interpreted more difficult way, more indirect approach. So you cannot take the essence. So like that. But at the same time, don't worry too much. They all coming on the same direction. The only difference is who knows the direction only, or who knows not only the direction, but also know the destiny. Who knows only purely the direction, but not details of the path. Or somebody knows complete details of the path and direction. That might be different. And the destiny. So the golden age Dharma means you know everything is completed. So that's why more easier and more relaxed and more confidence. Okay, if you guys join today, if something this is new for you and if it's too high for you, don't worry. You will understand. This is first step. But also don't take too harsh and you just take simply what I'm saying. Okay, so today's topic, when we say you are more than enough, yourself is more than enough, what it means? Is temporarily and ultimately you don't need anything else other than yourself. So when I say that, maybe some people can shock and some people can disagree. But whoever is shocked or disagree means we still need study this point of view. So which means we all entire life pursuing something, always looking for something, searching something. All of them. Why? Because like that, because we didn't realize enough. Ourself is more than enough. Or we can say, we didn't know how to be ourselves exactly. That's why we looking something else. But if we really know who you are, we know how to be ourselves, then we don't really need to look anything else, looking for anything else. You may think, is that means we don't need food? Do we need food? Do we need sleep? Do we need drink? And so on and so forth. The answer, we may look for food. We may look for drink and shelter and so on. But that is, we not looking them as primary needs. We looking for them reasons of temporary, secondary reasons. But the problem usually, we look for more than food and drink and shelter. Why? Because we never understood our self is primary. The greatest we already have. That's why we're looking for everything. We're not just looking for as a temporary needs or temporary solution or secondary needs. but we always looking for like primary. Yeah, firstly, we looking for more than food and drink, shelter. We are never enough. Universally, I'm not talking about just a few us today here. Universally, we're doing this. All of them fell into the reason because we don't understand ourselves. We don't know how to be ourselves. So maybe you can think then, who can understand ourselves? Who know how to be oneself? Okay, we don't say Buddha, we don't say Bodhisattvas, something we don't know them. But simply we say something real yogis, real yoginis, which means whoever, they don't need anything. They don't look for anything other than temporary food and shelter, maybe, but very simple food and very simple shelter is good enough for them. Those kind of person, doesn't matter what kind of nationality, whether people categorize as crazy or whatever, is those people, they know more than enough. Oneself is more than enough. And they knowing how to be oneself. Other than that, anybody else maybe have a little degrees are different how to be yourself. They understand how to be yourself and it feels good enough myself. So we can try first, we can understand this is the most essential to establish there is a self. There is illusional self, but also there is true self. The true self and Buddha nature is equal and within everybody. That means you only rely on that, which means you are only that. Everything else a temporary illusion. If we do that, even we know how to do it, even at a tiny degree, it helps enormous. Why? Because usually nobody think like that. Everybody think this illusional self is something ultimate. And nobody sees something real ultimate itself, oneself is beyond that. Everybody's stuck with this temporary illusion. and never think about something beyond that. So that's why I'm saying the other approaches, they try to empty this illusion of self. That helps a little bit. But then you may think, okay, then why I'm doing this? I am even not exist at all, and Buddha nature is not exist at all, and Buddhahood not exist at all, enlightenment not exist at all, even accumulation merit not exist at all. So then you confuse again. But in this gentle view, this yourself is the Buddha nature. You try to free in yourself from the illusions, illusion itself, illusion yourself, illusion themselves, so on and so forth. Even you cannot free temporarily, but you are in the process of the freeing. You are process of the freedom. If you understand that, that is medicine for all the sickness, all the illness. This medicine treating the root illness, not only the symptoms. So another way of saying, try to be yourself. So be yourself means, of course, the ultimate yourself. That is the best. If you can try to be yourself. Or another language you can use, even you try to connect the ultimate yourself. That's the best. That means you don't even need Buddha, the temporal, the relative level of the Buddha, the historical of Buddha. You don't even need that. You don't need God. You don't need protectors. You don't need anything. That doesn't mean you have no respect of them, but you don't really rely on that. That is the best. But even you cannot connect that well, you cannot feel that well exact, but still, a substitute, can you be yourself? Which means can you see everything else you feels need is really temporary, really secondary. But if these conditions, you don't have it, you can't get them, can you not obsessed? Can you try to focus yourself, not you think you need them? So like that. Doesn't matter whatever circumstances. Can you understand myself is the primary, or other conditions we think is need, illusion. So illusion means also try to understand is not saying you never approach them. You not try to get a job. You try to have income. You try to have a relationship. No, 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 no. Not saying that. Can you do all of them, but at the same time, can you see as they are temporary? Can you see them as your secondary needs, temporary needs, not necessarily need, but you can try. Why you can try? Because you feel that temporarily you cannot 100% connect in yourself. You feel cannot be yourself 100%. So you feel the need them. But can you see all of them just temporarily, illusionally, I need them, but not really. Can you do that? If anybody can do that, it helps enormous. Doesn't matter what position you are, doesn't matter what age group you are, doesn't matter what nationality you are, doesn't matter what gender you are. There is nobody on this earth don't need that. Everybody needs this. Any other solutions, everything is falling into this. So relationship, status, recognition, wealth, everything can you put as a secondary, temporary needs? Temporary secondary need means may have some benefits, may don't have benefits, which means appears for you have beneficial, but not really necessary. But you still approach because you feel the temporary needs. Appears you need. Appears you need means not really necessarily needs. Can you remind yourself all the time? My ultimate myself is Buddha, which means ultimate myself is a perfect, no need nothing, no need develop nothing. This is not something philosophical argument. This is universal, universally researched the result, everybody agreeing. When I say this, maybe you think, oh, that's not true. When did they research it? When people agree with together. But I'm not saying, we have the concept of we researched the modern term, how researched and how they get together and agree. I'm not saying that way. What I'm saying is, universally, the most realized enlightened beings, their ultimate conclusion is like this. Is everybody using maybe different vocabularies, different way of describing. But what I see is same meaning. So this research is not done something read or test a scientific experiment. This agreement is the most valuable enlightened beings. Their experience is more than experiment. These experiences is proof this. We cannot prove something more than you experience. But this experience also not based on illusion on self and emotional and everything. This experience is something go beyond those and then experience. For this reason, we can trust this. We can experiment this as well. How you need to experiment this? These conditions maybe you really need. Temporarily, again. But doesn't matter, the temporarily, the most important temporarily you need. Such as respect, such qualities, respect, appreciate, honoring, based on love and compassion. Or this, based on this, anybody can experiment the Buddha nature. But if you lack of those qualities, no matter how you are diligent, no matter how you try hard with some kind of techniques, no. So that means, first I explain what it means respect. When we say respect, is not something modern terms say, oh, I respect everybody, I respect all religion, I respect all individual freedom, blah, 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 blah. We're not talking about that. Those is called political correctness, not real respect. Real respect means you believe everybody has Buddha nature. Not only that, but you believe no matter how it appears bad, behaviors other people, and attitude, everything. No matter how much you have tolerance of that, no matter how degree of tolerance you have with that, but you still remember these bad attitudes, bad behaviors, everything is only my karmic version, because I'm temporarily under control of the karma. I'm wearing karmic glasses, nothing else. So I cannot see the real truth, real manifestation of the Buddha nature. I only see my karmic version. So therefore, even I cannot cope with this behavior and this attitude. I cannot tolerate temporarily, but I still not judging 100%. If you have that kind of attitude, then it's called respect. Of course, there's a different degree of respect. Is a respect. Then what is, appreciate, honor, and distance? The whole world, the happiness is not dependent what you get. It dependent how you appreciate, how you honor. Definitely everything based on that. But not only happiness, but the spiritual attainments, a spiritual progress is definitely dependent on that. People think usually, oh, I get this, then I can do this. I can get this, they go, no. Materialism or these things, maybe if you get this and you can do that. But spiritual attainment is not that. It's not external conditions or teacher, texts, all these things is a secondary. Yourself, your quality of this appreciation, honor, that is the primary condition. And people often forget this and always seeking for the secondary conditions everywhere. So that's remember. Then love and compassion. Again, people mistake because people think love is attachment is love. Desire and attachment, they think love. Of course, you mistake because there is some degree is similar. But you can have the desire, you can have the attachment for right reasons. Not the possessive reason. The reason of inspiration. The reason of you cherish, you honor. Your feeling may be love, same, but your reason is not same. If you have that, and then definitely leading to spiritual progress. That means you are on the way of enlightenment. Compassion means it is not just sensible, and you feel other people's suffering. Not only that, that is only one condition of compassion, but more than that. Because this is how you feel other people's suffering is, there's two people, one is sensible, one is insensible. Yes, sure. Who is not insensible one can have the compassion first. But also, when you see the degrees of suffering, if the same people, same sensible people, same thoughtful people can see other people suffering, so you have the compassion. But how much degree of suffering need for you to rise at compassion? For you have compassion is need somebody is killing in front of your eyes, or you just hear that story is enough, or you can see it through the television or something, or you don't need to kill anybody to raise your compassion, but somebody suffer great pain, or for your compassion is somebody have a little emotion problem. Is that good enough for you to arouse compassion? Or some people have financial problem or relationship problem temporarily. Is that good enough for your compassion to rise? Or just be ordinary person, just see ordinary person is good enough to rise your compassion? Think of that. There is many degrees of quality we can see and in different people. But this real compassion is not those is condition of compassion. But real compassion is care, degrees of caring. Degrees of caring also rely on braveness, courageous nature. How much degree of courage you have, so much, that much of compassion you have, real compassion. So that means real compassion is you have to classify as courageous quality. Courageous quality, of course, you can have many different degrees. So the highest compassion a bodhisattva has is you are brave enough to take a responsibility of all sentient beings to deliver a Buddhahood. That means the ultimate benefits. You don't want to give up one sentient being. So if anybody have just inspiration of for this philosophy, that's good enough to start. Your temporarily condition of compassion, arise emotionally. This is not the most important. The important is how much you care and how you are brave. So that these all definitely leading you to realize no self, this temporary, ordinary, but there is true self, Buddha nature. You can experience when you do the practice preliminaries, teachings, study, practice everything, within the range of this kind of qualities, you will realize everything. So that's why we say it is more than enough yourself. When we say more than enough yourself means we have to think of the ultimate myself, Buddha nature, Tathagata. But even temporarily is more than enough yourself, ourself, if we know how to be oneself. That is the primary we need. Everything else condition, secondary condition. Okay? So how long we been?
It's about an hour.
Okay, so let's say a few minutes, and then you can have questions. So try to be yourself. People sometimes misunderstand. Try to be yourself means, oh, try to be naughty, try to be brat, try to be shameless. It's not saying that. Try to have confidence, not arrogant. Try to be pride, have good reason, not bad reason. So what that mean? The arrogant and confidence only differences. You have good reason or no good reason. To be good pride or bad pride also you have enough reason or not enough reason. That's only difference. So if you have no good enough reasons, pride, then leading to the wrong path. But if you have good enough reason to be pride, definitely, absolutely important, leading to the right path. So that is, you have the confidence, have the Buddha nature, the perfect Buddha nature. You have the confidence, your problem is temporary. Your problem is very minor. That kind of confidence leading everything. That confidence is for right reason. Any that's opposite, confidence and pride is not good reason. So then you can distinguish. Okay? So another thing, try to be yourself means you know how to have freedom. This also so many people misunderstanding, especially modern people, modern culture. Why? Because the modern culture's interpretation of freedom is based on selfish, based on not sharing, based on ignorance. Why I'm saying ignorance? Because modern people, modern culture think freedom means I'm the boss. Nobody have right to say to me anything. I don't have to please anybody. That kind of base. If you take that approach, you may feel good temporarily. Maybe you can have that kind of freedom temporarily, sometimes is nice, but you will have consequences. That consequences will not be the great. That consequences will be primary causes of depression, anxiety, loneliness, everything. All modern problems is based on that. So that means you are misunderstanding how to be yourself. But the other way, you understand everything is more than enough myself, which means you're referring to the Buddha nature. You have the confidence of that. And then no possible any bad consequences. These result arise in real compassion, which means real braveness, the courageous nature, rare caring, sharing. These incredible good qualities rise. So these qualities, we can say are Shambhala qualities. We can say the Shambhala Karki kins means it's not like a samsaric kins. It means greatest of these qualities, especially this braveness, this courageous nature. So if you want to be family of Shambhala, then we have to approach, we have to seeking for this kind of quality. Not usually we seeking something external conditions, such as fame, social status, recognition, all of these things, relationship, wealth. At the same time, please don't misunderstand. Doesn't mean you have to delay them. You cannot have to have those. You can have all of this, but you can see as understand not the primary needs. Only they are a small condition for your path, a small support you're on the path. your primary inspiration. Only supporting that is okay. Okay? So now you can have questions.
If you can add your questions to the chat, that will be helpful. The first question we have, Rinpoche, is, can you explain the difference, if there is one, between ultimate truth and the idea of nirvana?
Yeah, so when we say nirvana, the language we're saying is ultimate freedom. So this describes ultimate freedom, yes, but didn't describe innumerable qualities. So that's why this nirvana, we can refer common language for the Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, everybody. But basic description of the ultimate freedom. So you don't have to take as a Mahayana language or Hinayana language or anything. You just using a common. Between nirvana and what do you say?
Ultimate truth and nirvana.
Oh, so the ultimate truth, every different school have different meaning. Today, what I'm saying, ultimate truth is the Gentleman point of view, the most easy way. I mean, when you, whatever you have the most knowledge and experience, whatever job or description is more easier for you to describe or to do or anything. Similarly, the golden age dharma, Gentleman way, is the ultimate truth, and the ultimate nirvana is same. So no difference. But other schools, they have complications, many different ways of saying. So we better to don't go these details today because they make confuse.
Okay, the next question, Dario, you may have to elaborate, is please explain about using gnosis as a search tool for achieving the ultimate truth.
No self?
Gnosis. Dario,
No?
Yes. Dario, do you want to ask your question? Unmute yourself.
No. I don't know. No, what are you saying?
Or Tippy Gilson? Can you help with?
Hi.
Okay.
Rinpoche, gnosis is yeshe.
Oh, so please explain yeshi, meaning like that.
As a search tool for achieving the ultimate truth.
How does yeshe lead you to ultimate truth?
How does
Yeshe lead you to ultimate truth?
Oh. So I would say yeshi is the ultimate truth. It's not leading to your ultimate truth. But if you experience like 1 millionth or 1 trillionth of yeshi, if you can experience, that definitely leading to that. Why? Because if you need a connection with somebody, and any conditions leading to connecting with that, you know, like this person's friend, you know, that just knowing that person is helping connecting this person. So similar. Is that clear?
Dario, did that answer that?
Can I ask more to clarify? I think that in understanding things, we usually use reason, thinking. But as I understand, then comes the more deep level And this is this level of gnosis, when you directly understand and experience how things really are. That's my question. If you can clarify more deeply, please.
More deeply, if we try to understand the person, we have to study, research this person, or the process. You can have a direct connection with this person, and you do many things together, and you have a, even you have to understand this person properly. You have to have many circumstances with this person, not easy circumstances, even challenging, difficult circumstances. If you have a long time with this person, that means you know this person much more than any other. So like that, it should be similar, but even you understand this person perfectly, you never become same yourself, this person. So the difference is, yeshi, yes, you can experience 1 trillionth and then 1 million or whatever, but finally, you understand, ultimately understand yeshi, or yourself, as you understand yourself, the ultimate yourself is the same. There is no separation. That is very different.
Okay.
Because your nature.
The next question, Rinpoche, is wisdom something mandatory, or can it be developed on the path?
Wisdom is, and this Buddhism language, the wisdom is very big, because usually wisdom is not like that. But in this point of view, wisdom is, you can see as path, is but also you can see as you can experience as a result. So that's why is how do you say, the wisdom, you can have many different degrees of wisdom, but the real wisdom is sometimes referred to the femininity within everybody else, within everybody. And then the ultimate wisdom is the ultimate femininity on the Buddhahood.
Daniela, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you, Rinpoche.
Okay, the next question is from Mihai. How can we understand the vision presented today regarding relying on Buddha nature in relationship with refuge in the 3 jewels?
You can understand that this is the ultimate Buddhahood, the Buddha nature is the ultimate 3 jewels. So because this is innumerable qualities, so is the ultimate Buddha, ultimate Dharma, ultimate Sangha. You can understand that. But the temporary Buddha, as like historical Buddha, these temporary Sangha, temporary, or you can say relative Sangha, all the Dharma, the realization, even small realization is still Dharma. So all of them, the manifestation of the ultimate 3 jewels. So that's why they have connection.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Thank you.
Does anybody else have any more questions for Rinpoche? Give another moment. If we have no more questions, Rinpoche, shall we do the dedication?
Okay.